Hey guys, taking the bearings out of the packet. Watch the wee grub screws. Whatever you do, don't lose them. As you can see, you have to pop the bearing. Yep, and a grub screw inside that one. Need to pop out. Right, and the bearings just pop in there, like so. And you have your shaft with a groove in it for obviously popping through it. You put your circlip on it then to stop it going the whole way through. Don't know if you can see that or not. Apologies if you can't. Hold on a second while I put the circlip on. Okay, I don't know if you can see that guys, but if putting the circlip on the end, yeah, there. I'll stop it from going all the way through. Make sure you put it to the outside where the holes are, and obviously the other end, once we put the grub screw in, will fit then on there and allow it to swing. Right guys, what I'm going to try and do now is see how the screws fit on the back plate for to see how it fits. They don't look to be very central on one side or the other, but we'll see how we get on. And we're just going to dry fit at the moment. It's the smallest of the Posi-Drive hex screws. I would imagine and recommend that you put some Loctite on that, and the other end will dry fitted just to see how we get on. Again, I would highly recommend putting some Loctite on this. I'm getting about 2.5–3 turns on that, but yeah, they're flush. Nothing protruding, but so far that's that together. It didn't take long and wasn't too hard. Okay, the next stage that I'm going to show is putting the actual cage together that holds the GoPro. This part here is the top part, where it still gives you access to your top button. The bottom plate, there is no countersinking in that at all, and obviously your two sides with the grub screw holes. Obviously we want to keep them to the front. We'll see how we get on. Put this together. As you can see guys, I'm starting to put this together now with the same screws. It's the star screws. One thing I have noticed is when putting this together, because it's not countersunk, the screws do protrude from the casing a bit. As you can see, I've kept the two grub hole screws to the front, but as you can see, it's very straightforward, very easy to put together. I haven't really come across anything yet that I would say warrants any warnings as such. The tolerances for the holes, I would say that some of them look to be quite close to the edge. I would possibly like to have seen maybe a wee bit more, but there we go. That's the cage together. Didn't take very long, a couple of minutes if that. More to follow. Okay, now we're going to look at attaching the back plates, like so. These are the black screws with the hex that we're going to use, with some washers that we have been supplied. So we'll start to put this together, and you can see I'll get back to you in a minute when we've done the rest of them. Alright guys, I've now attached the screws to the back to join the mounting plate for the motor, and it adjusts. So I've left it slack so you can see it sliding up and down. Now that's the part where the motor for the roll will sit, and then you have, I believe, this part. Now this is the part, again, there's a grub screw. You can see that on the camera. Grub screw there. That slides on to there, but when it is fitted you need to leave it so it is flush. You do not want this protruding out of the back, and the reason for that is, if it is flush, when you mount it against there, you can get it tight and it'll be nice and snug at the back. If you have it protruding, obviously it will be in the way. And I'll just tighten these up guys and we're back in a second. Okay, we've now tightened up all the screws in the back, and in your kit you will receive one of these for mounting onto the shock absorber plates that we will be putting in the rubber balls very shortly. Very straightforward, 4 holes, and again 4 bolts with washers, and just insert them in and tighten them up. I'm quite sure you don't want to see me tighten up another 3 screws. I'm wasting time, so I'll come back to you when I finish the other 3. Okay, on with the next step. This part here, what we're going to do is we will fit it to the back plate, as so. As you can see, the screws just protrude a wee bit, but by the time we put the motor in, like so. Yep, and then obviously tighten up the screw and the grub screw. Okay, I'll fit these other screws, washers, and get back to you with the next step. Okay, I've just attached the bracket on the back, as you can see, and I've left it slack, sorry about that, so you can see it sliding back and forth for the adjustment for getting your CG. But yeah, it's been a very good gimbal so far. Haven't really come across any problems. I've got still have the servo wires to attach to the PCB board. No big hardship there. A lot of people ask, you know, where does what wire go where? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. Because if the motor's going the wrong way, you can reverse it. Same when you go to plug it on the board. Doesn't matter if the yellow, white, whatever you have is on the inside or the outside. Just reverse it, take it off, or turn it around, plug it on. You won't blow them up. Won't do any harm. Alright guys, I'll get back to you on the next step. One thing I have noticed is, you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws there. We have 1, 2, 3 screws there, but here, RC timer, we are a screw missing. So we will have to find a screw for that at my own box, but RC timer. I'd rather see a spare screw than not having one at all. That's a bad mark, it was going so well. Anyway, we'll continue with the build. Okay, the next step that I've decided to do is to add the board. Any board will do. Here's one that I made myself, but it'll be a, as you can see, fit the board on. Seems to be a tight fit. Then obviously the other standoffs would go on the top of there, and so on and so on. And then obviously you would fit to the 4 corners respectively on there. As you can see, there's just enough clearance for my one, but that's not the board I will be using, so not on this one. It's a test gimbal, but we'll get the gimbals put on, and also got to solder up the motors. As I said, the only other thing that I think that people might have a problem with is the very, very, very small grub screws. I am struggling to find something to fit these, even in my toolbox. So it might be a case of I have to look deeper into my Aladdin's cave to see if what I can find, but it looks to me as if I might be corrected, and if it's wrong, don't shout at me, email me, whatever. To me it looks as if it's going to be a 1mm Allen key or whatever to fit it, but yeah, we'll see if we can sort that out as well. Alright guys, just a small update. I've now soldered on the servo cables to the motors, and I've attached the motor to the back, as you can see. The grub screws, I had to make one to fit, as I didn't have one that fitted. Works now, so we'll get the rest of it together and show you as we get along. Okay guys, I've now attached servo cables to the motors, and what I've discovered, and probably the best thing to do, is when you dry fit, as you can see I've taken the arm off the motor side, as it's going to be easier to attach, and then fit it to the arm, the rest of the back plate. We'll do that and then we'll come back. Okay, as you can see I've attached the motor now to the arm, and I have also attached the motor to the back arm. Next step will be to attach the back and tighten up the grub screw, which I had to make something up for the grub screw because I have nothing in my toolkit that would fit. There's the back. And right away I spot a problem. As you can see, as I said, if it's not flush, you will indeed have problems. With the rotation. So the next step in the build would be to attach the cradle. What I think I'm going to do is push the shaft out the side, put the motor end on first, like so, and then push the shaft through into the hole, and then when they're sitting and spinning freely, which probably go on there now, you can see that's. We'll tighten up the grub screws and we'll come back. What we're about to do now is we've just roughly balanced out the gimbal, and we'll tighten up the screws with the correct one. Just tighten them up gently, just to see if we can get the camera balanced a wee bit. As you can see, the camera is needing to go over yet. The weight of the camera is not enough. balancing it out. Tighten them up again, snip them up just to hold them to be able to get the camera to sit then. As I say, it's going to be more a trial and error. But once it's sitting in, we need to, as I say, a way of getting it to fit in there yet so it sits in. Alright guys, the camera gimbal is more or less put together now. As you can see, we still have to put the camera on to balance it up, which we've done. We just need to fix the camera in its position as so, fit the board, and we should be done, and then we'll get some video. As you can see, RC timer, we are a 1 screw short. I hope nobody else has to endure this, but that's it guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll get some flight videos very shortly.